Hi, my name's Rob Lee. Hi, my identifier is 4682. Hi there, this is my Block 3 presentation. So imagine it's 2 a.m. and you're about to turn in that expense report when all of a sudden, zap, your computer screen dies. Oh no, what do you do? Well, call IT and have them help because they're standing by 24/7 just for that reason. Information technology plays such a huge role in the structure of business, and it requires security of information, ethical personnel operating it, and a structure for employees to operate to the needs and wants of the mass users. The points I'm going to talk about today include what IT is, IS and information services and their role in the company, information technology personnel and their roles, and security in IT, and lastly, ethics in IT. What IT is, IT stands for information technology. And the main goal of IT is to store data so that later it can be retrieved, manipulated, or improved, not just through computers, but also, it could be radio networks, televisions, whatever it may be. IT is there to help with that. Information can range from payroll data all the way to emails of the employees. And for example, here at SLU, we have SLU Mail that's run by Google that would have information technology wrapped all around it. Data is usually collected directly from the user. So the use of the kid at St. Louis University for his SLU Mail would Gmail would react to his use of their program. This could be direct deposit info, credit card portfolios, going back to where the data is collected from. It could be direct deposit info, it could be credit card portfolios. Facebook uses data from its users' actions profiles, the users' inputs on their profile, such as what page they like, who their friends are, to hit them with ads, stuff like that. But at the same time, they're using all that data to help better their system for what their users do. It can give updates for messages. For example, on the iPhone, they have a messenger app now, etc. Things like that all include IT services. Through these services, training, and tools, an ITS department, Information Technology Services Department, is created. And an IT department has client services where they have help desk and technical services, so that let's say your laptop breaks down or you can't get on the internet, you go in and get help. At SLU, we have ITS, Information Tech Services. And ITS helps us connect to the internet, create user profiles for online programs, find software at reduced rates. They can help us network more easily. IT is also based off of, in the background, computer software, computer updates, and computer analytics. Basically, IT also runs the background of the networks for the school or whatever the organization may be, to the needs and wants of that organization. Some jobs at IT include analysts, administrators, engineers, and design specialists. Moving down from the top, we have administrators, analysts and designers. I'm going to categorize those into the same. Analysts and designers. The analyst monitors the operations and the needs and wants of the company. To the needs and wants of the company, helps update the system. Whereas a design specialist is going to take what the analyst updates and put it on a website to present the data to the masses so that they can read it and understand it with ease. And they also help by talking to users and helping them through their problems. We go into the software engineers who help develop, create, and build the software and hardware from what the analysts and what the design specialists have kind of gathered in terms of information. These are the guys that code, and they're the dirty workers. Basically, they go into the system and do the maintenance work. Lastly, we have the administrator. The administrator monitors the workers, the system, and the programs, and then issues tasks for the other workers. They're also the bridge between the organization of, for example, here at SLU, and the IT department. The administrator goes out and tells the CEO, the CFO, what they need, what's going on in the IT department, how things are changing, where their support needs to be coming from, and then relay that back to the IT department. They're the bridge between upper level employees, management, and IT. Security in IT is something that obviously needs to be there. Security is security, and there's not really much more of a reason to build on what security is. We all know what security is. It's the integrating that we need to talk about. Security is integrated in each of the steps of developing, disseminating, and gathering software and data in the IT process. And this is because security in IT is what we use for integrity. We use it as a firewall, some sort of password protecting matrix, whatever it may be, so that outsiders cannot access our data without attempting to attack it or break the code. And all this stored data can therefore be secure from public vision. Well, if your IT department didn't have a secure system, we'd have poorly kept data, and people would lose their identities and money, credit card numbers, etc. And this kind of leads into ethics, which is our next topic. Ethics in general in the world are slowly becoming non-existent. People's ethics. This is a picture of international state of Syria and Iraq, or Islamic State of Syria and Iraq, and they are Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Pardon me. They are out there protesting. This specific movement was protesting United States airstrikes, but they're out there fighting and doing horrid things. Their ethics are at a low standard. And this is not just them. This is an extreme case, but people on the streets these days aren't as friendly as they used to be. Ethics in the world are slowly becoming non-existent. Basic line. People are naturally self-centered, and therefore the information in the wrong hands can lead to wrongdoing with especially with sensitive information. So good ethics mean good credibility for an IT department or just a company in general. Then ethics in IT requires a standard of ethics so that the user can feel comfortable with the system. Without the credibility, there would be no IT departments because no one would feel safe with them. An example of poor ethics would be an IT employee breaching sensitive information because they have the opportunity to. This can compromise so many persons' identities and protected info, and this is why there is ethics training in IT. In making decisions is an even harder background in IT ethics, and that's because when you go to make a decision, here we see this arrow, right, wrong. It depends. Not everything is black and white. And so you might be making the correct decision, but is it the ethical and correct decision? And that's why, again, we have training in IT about ethics. Not just the employee's ethics, but it can be the user's ethics. For example, we have users' term and conditions contracts that we have to sign here at SLU for computers. People have to sign them at offices. A user can break the user agreement by looking up, for example, pornography or storing unwanted programs on their computer. All of these things break user agreements, and those ethics have to be monitored they will be monitored by the analyst, and that is where ethics in IT comes into play. Whereas the IT person, regardless of what level, if it's a CEO, they find it on their computer down to basic level employee, they have to report it because that's ethically correct. Poor ethics can lead to poor decisions, and companies like Enron, where Enron goes down the toilet, leaves its workers behind. Not necessarily an IT move, but looking at Enron, we saw the CEO, the CFO leave everybody behind. No credibility taken whatsoever. And that was a very selfish move, unethical. If we ran an IT department like Enron was run, clearly we know how that would end up. To conclude, IT and its parts are there so that companies can thrive through software, hardware, cyberspace, whatever it is. IT department is there to help build an infrastructure. It's an information storage, collection, retrieval system. Jobs at IT include analysts, administrations, software developers and engineers, and design specialists. There's a lot of security in IT to help protect all the information that they gather and disseminate, because a lot of that information is sensitive to passwords and identities, and they can't spread that information, which leads us to ethics. This is the basis for how we rely on IT. If there were no ethics, then we would not trust IT and their purpose would become extinct. Ethics goes both ways. The IT professional, the user, and all of the above can violate user agreements. IT keeps everything moving smoothly. If we look into IT, it's an important part of computer networks, and and all the parts that keep a company running, moving smoothly, safely, and credibly. And that is why we have IT.